With every challenge comes an opportunity. It was going bang, bang, and everything was rosy. So we did panic.
Yeah.
It's just that we jumped into the pool and we were lucky that we could swim there.
Welcome back to Anis Sajan Unfiltered. Today, we're having a conversation that every entrepreneur needs to hear. It's about how you can leverage challenges into opportunities and a little bit about the story of how Danube has sustained its success over 33 years. So, sir, people often think that leadership is about vision, strategy, or management skills. But you've said before that the true test of leadership actually comes from situations that you don't expect. So, for example, pandemics, supply chain chaos, market crashes, that's what really tests your leadership. So, what do you have to say about that?
I totally agree with you that leadership is tested or your temperament is tested when things don't go well, like you mentioned about the pandemic or the market crash. That is when your character is tested. Every time you'll have a market crash or a pandemic, but that is where you are actually tested and you show your true character.
Yeah. So could you actually take us through the first time that your company, Danube Group, faced a crisis like this, and what was your thought process back then?
Well, real estate was booming in the early 2000 when actually real estate started in UAE, rather Dubai.
Yeah.
It was going bang bang and everything was rosy for every developer, every building material supplier. In fact, I remember building material was booming so much that people who were in supermarket business also wanted to get into building material because steel was in demand, the rebar.
Okay.
So they started importing rebar because the prices were going skyrocket. Everybody wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Of course, real estate was booming. That's why the building material was required. But one sudden day, we heard about the Lehman Brothers crash, which had nothing to do with UAE. But the word spread like that the Dubai market of real estate is going to crash. And that's what it happened.
Okay.
All of a sudden, we could feel that there's something wrong. There's over stuffing of goods or over supply of projects. And bang, bang, from top to ceiling, we came down to the floor.
Okay, so at that point of time, was your instant reaction panic? Or I would love to understand the thought process because there's so much at stake, right?
Absolutely right. It was panic. I'll be lying and saying that, no, I was cool about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been importing so much of goods for building material because at that time, let me tell you, guys, we were not into real estate in the first phase of the boom of real estate. We were a building material supplier. So all these developers, A, B, C, D, were buying from us. So were the traders as well as the end users. So we used to import all these items so that they could supply for their developers or contractors.
Okay.
So we had stocked up a lot of goods and then suddenly the crash came, construction stopped. What would you do about the stock? So we did panic, but at the same time kept our composure without making it too obvious.
So I believe in 2007, like you're saying, Danube used to be purely into building materials. You all were not in properties at that point?
Absolutely. We are not into real estate. We were not developers. We are a pure building material supplier, which was from early 1992 till the 2007 or till now, you can say.
Yeah.
Building material has been our core business from the beginning.
Okay. So now when the market crashed, you decided to go against the tide and expand into properties and Danube Home as well. So what did people around you say about this decision? And actually, how did you come to this thinking that, Acha, this is the right way to go?
Let me correct you. We did not get into properties at that time.
Okay.
When the market crashed, a lot of people downsized their business.
Yeah.
So there is where we felt an opportunity. Like I've always said, that with every challenges, you get an opportunity. So when people downsize their business, that gave us the share of that people who downsize the business. When I say share, yes, the market was down, but it did not become so much down that there was no requirement. So we decided to venture into a new business of retail, where we called earlier as BuildMart. At that time, it was not Danube Home, it was called as BuildMart.
Okay.
So we opened our first store I think in 2007 in Ras Al Khaimah, October. And it took off because at that time, as I mentioned, the building material supplier to the developers were not going.
Yeah.
So the retail chain picked up. Because before it was all about wholesale business.
Yeah.
So retail chain, nobody had thought. So we started this imports of tiles, sanitary ware, chandeliers, furniture, you name it, anything in retail to make your home. We had it in that Belmart store of Ras Al Khaimah. It was around 100,000 square feet store.
Wow.
And a lot of people asked, in this crisis, what's wrong with you, Sajan brothers? Why are you swimming against the tide?
Yeah.
And that's why we smiled at each other and said that, as I mentioned earlier, with every challenge comes an opportunity, and we took that risk, and touch wood, it paid off.
So would you call that a calculated risk, or was it, on a whim?
Again, I will say that it was a risk. I don't know what is calculated or what. It's just that we jumped into the pool and we were lucky that we could swim there.
So 100,000 square feet, that's a huge store. So was this the one store that you opened during this time, or was it one of many?
Well, this was the beginning, which gave wings to many Buildmart stores. Then we opened in Bahrain. That was also a huge one. That was opened again on my birthday in 2008. I was very happy that stores were opening on my birthday. But again, there was a challenge whether it will work or do well, because this was not open in UAE, this was open in Bahrain.
Yeah.
And it took off. It was open in Salmabad. And once again, the retail concept worked well.
Yeah.
And then we opened in Dubai Festival City, which was a small store in that mall. And then it came to Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and we just took off. And I have to give credit to my nephew Adil because he got into this business because he was young. He had new ideas, even though the initial idea was of my brother to start this Buildmart store.
Yeah.
But the responsibility was taken over by my young nephew Adil Sajan.
Yeah.
And I have to say, and hats off to him, that his new ideas made sure, along with his team, that Danube Home never looked back. And I'll say Danube Home, he changed the name from Buildmart to Danube Home. When it meant by Danube Home is that anything and everything to make your home available at Danube.
Lovely. So the amount of expansion that you did during that crash is quite unlikely. We don't see this happening out there. So in order to make this happen, I'm sure you've had some support. Maybe banks had to, come and support you. Was there ever a point where the bank came to you and said, how are you going to repay our money?
Yeah, I remember one incident when the market crashed for building material. One of the bankers came to our office in Jebel Ali and met my brother and said, yeah, you have got so much of goods imported, so much of facilities you all have used. How are you going to sell this? Because imagine so much of building material, whether it is wood, sanitary, steel. Now the construction is stopped. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
So my brother, being Rizwan Sajan, said, this is my keys of my office. This is my house key. This is my car key. I'm here for the last 20 years in business. I know the market has crashed, but I have the confidence this will again come back. The market will again come back into action.
Yeah.
And we are capable because of three things. One, the network what Danube had created. You see, that is very important. We were spread across all over UAE as well as in Oman, Bahrain, and even Qatar.
Right.
So that is very important, the network, because you're not spread across only in UAE.
Correct.
Secondly, the basket of products. We did not have just one commodity product like a plywood or a steel. We had different types of plywood. We had different types of MDF, melamine MDF. Then we had steel. We had structural steel. In sanitary, we had different models. So we were not only selling commodity.
Yeah.
So we were confident. So we said our network is our strength, the basket of products, and third, the team what I have. I've always believed that the captain is as good as the team. So when you have the right team, challenges will come, but that is where you as a leader has tested, and so is your team.
Yeah.
But if you have the right team, they will ensure that you can get through this challenge. And we went to that banker, we told the banker, this is, yes, a little bit of test of character for us, but we will sail through. And within 1 year, the banker gave us more facility because he said, yeah, whatever you said, you delivered.
Okay. So
Easier said than done, let me tell you.
I was just getting to that because even though I know you and Rizwan sir are, you have a lot of conviction and belief in yourselves also. But वो जब आपने बोला था उनको कि गाड़ी की चाबी रख लो या घर की चाबी रख लो या ऑफिस की चाबी रख लो, was there ever an ounce of doubt कि यार अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो?
I had that doubt in my mind, but I know my brother, when we had that invasion of Kuwait in 1990, there also we had to leave everything and come. So he had faced that challenge. That was a bigger challenge, I'll tell you, even though it was not our own business. But my brother was there from 80 to 90 in Kuwait and set up, and we were all doing well, even though I had just joined in Kuwait 8 months ago. So that setback he had seen. And the earlier setback before Kuwait was the setback of losing our father so early. When I was 8 and he was 16. So he had shouldered that responsibility. So credit to him and to his confidence. And when this so-called recession, I say so-called for a simple reason, because we've always believed, challenges or recession keeps coming. You don't stop eating. Do you stop eating? No. You eat your food 3 times, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So he was ready for the challenge. So was I and the whole team. And rest is history, as they would say. Danube made a terrific growth during that period of market recession.